Hi, my name is Rod Gels, and welcome to Total Comping, the Joe Pass tradition. For those of you who do not know who Joe Pass is, he was a legendary guitar player who was influential to many in the way that he approached the guitar. He approached the guitar much the same way like somebody like a Segovia approached the guitar, who was a classical guitar player. He put all the instruments in one. Like Segovia, what Segovia was known for was trying to make the orchestra sound good in a box that was the guitar. So Joe Pass did the same thing, only it was in the jazz idiom. So what that entails was you have bass lines going on, you have chord comps, you had horn jabs, you have improvised stuff all over the place. We have the blues, we have theme and variation, we have creativity done on the fly. So what we're going to do in this lesson is to introduce a few of the basic concepts of the Joe Pass tradition, what I refer to as the Joe Pass tradition. And what they are, we're going to go in from the 1 chord to the 4 chord, the first and second chords within the G blues, just to show you some things. So first of all, in the key of G, and we have a G blues, the G chord is a G7. Okay, when I play a G7, the most important 2 notes in G7 are going to be the flat 7 interval, which is F, and then the major 3rd interval, which is B. Those are called guide tones of G7. They're going to be the 2 most important notes. Now, what I'm going to also include on that is the root. So this is going to be a very useful grip for you in this exercise. So the G7 grip, that is the root, the flat 7, and the 3rd. Okay, so now that is going to be your 1 chord. When we go to the 4 chord, the 4 chord is C7. What we're going to do is we're going to go down to, this is your C note, your root note, your 3rd and your flat 7 reverse themselves. This is your 3rd, this is your flat 7. So these are going to be 3 note voicings. All right. This is the first example I have written down. The 1 to the 4 chord in a G blues, measures 1 and 2. Now, next thing we got to do, what Joe Pass did was he melded all the parts of a jazz ensemble together, which means the bass line is going to be present. The chord jabs are going to be present. The chord changes are going to be present. He can even play saxophone solos over top of all that, seemingly all at the same time. So we're not going to do all of that, but what we are going to do is we're going to discuss how we combine the chord with the bass line. First of all, what we got to do is we got to find a melody that takes us from your G7 or your G note to your C note. And that is the one I have written out for you. And a lot of times what we have when we have bass lines made out of chord tones. We have bass lines made out of scales. And then also we have bass lines made out of chromatic movement, which is half-step movement, which is the one that we're going to use in this example. Okay, so the bass line is as follows: from G to C7. Okay, that is a bass line. It'll get us from your G7 chord to your C7 chord. Okay, now C7 going back down to G is going to be, we go from the C to the flat 7, which is your B flat, and then a chromatic movement for a half step above the root. Okay, so okay, now the next thing we're going to do is we are going to melt these 2 pieces together. So we have the chord and we have the bass line. So on the and of 1, we're going to play the chord. And I'm doing this finger style, by the way. So this is going to be thumb, index, and middle fingers on my right hand. And the other thing is that little chord jab is a jab, so it's going to be like this. Okay? Okay? Okay. So that is the Joe Pass style in which what is referred to as total comping. The Joe Pass tradition of guitar. Now, there's lots, we can talk more about this, and there's lots more to learn. We can talk more about bass line construction. We can talk about more about chord substitution, coloring the chords, or substituting the chords, or reharmonizing the chords. There's all kinds of things within this that we can talk about in future lessons. I hope you enjoyed this lesson. And again, my name is Rod Gells. You can visit me at rodgells.com, RODGOELZ.com, or find me on Facebook. All right? Until then, over and out.